Olunaku olwaleero Palamenti Egobye Uganda nga teyeesazeemu egobye ekitongole kya NFA oba National Forestry Authority bakigobye obutaddamu kukola mulimu nagumu mu Uganda wano kuba badde abasaale mu kukuuma ebibira bya Uganda ne ate bekisuuliddwa nekikakasibwa nti yo yennyini National Forestry Authority ate yensaale mu kusaanyaawo ebibira bya Uganda. Uganda twakyali kibira na kimu n'ekitongole w'ekire eky'eddagala nga bisaanyiziddwawo bennyini abaweebwa omulimu gw'okubikuuma nga balina ne poliisi balina n'amagye kyokka ate ebyabaweebwa okukuuma mu ggwanga Uganda basaanyizaawo busaanye. Olwekyo Parliament n'esalawo nga teyekutuddeemu nti nno NFA egobwe era eggibweko emirimu egyo kubanga giremeddwa era n'abagikulira bakoowebwe mu mbuga basibibwe babinnyonnyole lwaki ebibira bya Uganda bisaanyeewo ate era baliwe bibira ebyo ebisaanyiziddwawo kubanga bakikoze nga balaba era nga bategeera nga si batamiivu. Kale katugende mu Parliament tulabe ensala eno bwebadde era na biki ebigenda okuddirira na biki ebiriwo.
The policy behind the bill is to give effect to government policy of rationalization of its agencies. The intention of the bill, Right Honourable Speaker, is to amend the National Forest and Tree Planting Act 2003, and this will enable us to mainstream and rationalize the functions of the National Forest Authority into the ministry.
Honorable members, you know, out of the whole group, this man has brought me 10,000 shillings. Bring. Yes, because of Guzuli. The problem, people never say thank you, but at least only one person has said thank you.
Right Honourable Speaker and Honourable members, the bill, this will facilitate efficiency and effective service delivery by clearly delineating the mandate and the functions of the ministry responsible for this. 3, it will help promote coordination.
There is a procedure matter.
Madam Speaker, yeah. I am an identity reader of the answer of Parliament. During the presentation by Mama Mavira, you have said someone has brought you 10,000 over Oguzuli. I am sympathetic to those who will be reading the answer.
That is withdrawn.
Who came here dressed like a cultural leader. So I wanted to be guided how that is related to the Mavira motion, Madam Speaker.
No, Guzuli's issues are different.
Madam Speaker, thank you. Why I dress like this is very symbolic. This is about economic liberation. You know, the people of Southern Africa, when they were resisting apartheid, they used to put on this kind of artifacts. Our coffee, which is the backbone of this economy, is being threatened by a bill which is on the order paper. And I've come to symbolize to the country that we are here to defend the economy of this country. Thank you.
Right Honourable Speaker, if I got Honourable Semju very well, he was only suggesting that the other word of 10,000 from from Honorable
Asuman
Asuman should be expunged. Just
yes, that's what I expunged. I said that should be expunged. How is
Right Honorable Speaker and honorable members of Parliament, I was advancing to indicate the justification that the bill, this will promote coordinated administrative arrangements, policies, and procedures for ensuring the efficient and successful management, financial, accounting, and budgetary discipline of the government agencies and departments, enabling the government to play its proper role more effectively. Colleagues, as you may be aware, the government had established that some agencies were created without much consideration, and hence there were duplication of functions and overlap. It is now against this background that the government decided to rationalize government agencies and expenditures, including the mainstreaming of National Forest Authority back to the ministry. Among the benefits of mainstreaming National Forest Authority into the Ministry of Water and Environment, the mainstreaming of NFA in the ministry will improve coordination, monitoring, supervision, and service delivery by the various actors to the sector, including the management of the central forest reserves. It will enable government to save about 3 billion from emoluments paid to the members, the executive director, and the directors, and the support staff, and procurement, audit, and so on. Leave alone to say that it also will help government address the issue of disparity in the salary structures, which had demoralized other staff from the ministry. The role of NFA is to manage the central forest reserves, while the ministry role was to manage the forestry on private land, including supporting districts to manage local forest reserves. Mainstreaming all the roles under the ministry will enable proper management, supervision of all the forests in the country, bringing all the experience together under the unified management. The annual gratuity paid to National Forest Authority staff, amounting to 6 billion, will be saved annually, honorable members. Duplication of support services for management and development of forest resources, such as the extension services, licensing, the law enforcement, among others, will now be eliminated. The legal provision commits National Forest Authority staff directly to report to the minister, who is not technical. Mainstreaming will enable effective supervision, reporting on management of the 506 central forest reserves to the permanent secretary in the ministry. Right Honorable Speaker and honorable members of Parliament, I beg to submit that indeed it is time we mainstream this agency for better service delivery. And I look forward for your support. I thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Honorable Chair.
Right Honorable Speaker.
Chair, you're supposed to be here.
Right Honorable Speaker. Permit me to lay on table the minutes of the meeting and a copy of the committee report, and also a copy of the executive summary
Thank you.
that the committee generated while processing this bill. Right Honorable Speaker and honorable colleagues, the committee has scrutinized the National Forestry and Tree Planting Amendment Bill 2024, whose objectives is to amend the National Forestry and Tree Planting Act and mainstream the functions of the National Forest Authority established under the Act into the ministry responsible for environment. The committee has noted that there is overlapping mandate of forestry matters, given that the ministry has a department under the Directorate of Environmental Affairs charged with managing and overseeing the forest sector development in Uganda, including both the central and local forest reserves, which mandate is similar to that of the NFA. The proliferation of the institutions with similar mandates has increased public expenditure and not necessarily led to improved service delivery. The committee has recommended that the National Forestry and Tree Planting Act be amended to mainstream the functions of the National Forest Authority into the ministry responsible for the environment to avoid the duplication of mandates and unnecessary expenditure. The committee has noted that mainstreaming NFA into the ministry will reduce on government expenditure by Ugandan shillings 22.1 billion in the financial year 2024-25 and Ugandan shillings 26.4 billion in the financial year 2025-26. The committee has further noted that the Ministry for Water and Environment has the requisite structure to assume the functions currently executed by the NFA and also express the willingness to absorb over 80% of the current staff of the NFA. The terminal benefits of the staff have also been provided for in the certificate of financial implication. The committee has also noted that the ministry will continue to generate non-tax revenue and NFA concurrently generates, given that the ministry also generates NTR, non-tax revenue, from the various sources, including abstraction permits under the water resources management. Therefore, mainstreaming the NFA into the Ministry of Water and Environment will address the challenges of overlapping mandates, reduce the government expenditure, and therefore improve service delivery. The ministry will also be able to generate the non-tax revenue currently generated by the National Forest Authority, given that it generates, given what the authority generates now. So the ministry will be able to generate its own under the same arrangement. Right Honorable Speaker, that is the executive summary I would like to present. The Ministry of Public Service gave us the organogram of the structure of NFA that will be under the ministry, and it is included in the report as Annex A, which I believe members will be able to see. Right Honorable Speaker, I beg to submit.
Thank you. Thank you. Honorable members, you've heard from the members. Yes, we have a minority report.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. I thank my colleague, but these are some of the points that descend from the main report. Honourable Speaker, we are aware that the National Forestry and Tree Planting Bill of 2024 was read for the first time on 9th April. And we are aware that the policy behind the bill is to give effect to a government policy for rationalization of government agencies and public expenditure, which the Cabinet adopted on 22nd February. And the committee processed the report. However, pursuant to Rule 205 of the Rules of Procedure of Parliament of Uganda, this minority report is premised on the dissenting opinions from the majority of the committee. And these are the areas of dissent. No economic gains in the short and medium term as envisaged by the bill to maintain the authority. Honourable Speaker, we begin with Table 1, which shows the financial implications, the figures depicted in the financial implications for the bill in the medium term. And based on what they show, that the the net savings for financial year 2024-2025 will be 22.1, and financial year 2025-2026 will be 26.4. Right, Honourable Speaker, the above table is extracted from the Certificate of Financial Implication of the bill. The anticipated savings of 22.1 billion in 2024-2025 is not possible, given the fact that government has already implemented activities in Q1 with an allocation of Uganda shillings 3.777 billion and Uganda shillings 8.034 billion in Q2 of financial year 2024-2025. So they overestimated. The money is already eaten. The budget appropriated to NFA is for sustainable management of central forest reserves as per their approved work plan and budgets. Therefore, the proposal by the bill of relieving the government of the wasteful administration and expenditure of maintaining the authority is impossible in the short and medium term, and concentration would rather be on strengthening National Forestry Authority as a revenue-generating entity that contributes significant non-tax revenue to the Treasury and is increasing its capacity to generate revenue to finance its operations. Right, Honourable Speaker, they have indicated that 80% of the staff shall be taken to the ministry. So we wonder, what will they earn when they're in the ministry if they indicate that the money will have been saved? Then on the issue of institutional harmony, functional duplications and overlap. Honourable Speaker, the National Forest Authority is mandated to manage 506 central forest reserves, covering an area of 1.265 million hectares, which accounts for about 26% of the total forest cover in Uganda. Not as it is alleged that wherever you see any forest, then it is in NFA responsible. NFA is only responsible for 26%. The protected areas system for habitat and biodiversity conservation in Uganda is managed under different legal mandates: the National Forestry and Tree Planting Act and Uganda Wildlife Act. In recognition of the importance of protected areas to the people of Uganda and the global community, the government, through statutory instruments number 63 of 1998, gazetted protected areas comprising 506 central forest reserves, also local forest reserves, 10 national parks, 12 wildlife reserves, and 12 Ramsar sites. So we are wondering, are the forests under national parks, local forest reserves also going to be taken back to the ministry? So in view of the above submissions, there is institutional harmony and therefore no functional duplications and overlaps, because the different forest reserves were given to the different entities. And when you take National Forest Authority alone, then it is not equitable. Alleged high cost of administering the authority at the expense of effective service delivery. Right, Honourable Speaker, NFA has significantly boosted its financial performance, achieving 83% increase in non-tax revenue over the years, over the past 4 years, the authority increased from Uganda shillings 9.27 billion in 2021 to Uganda shillings 16.983 billion in 2023-2024. The approved government of Uganda budget of 24.983 billion with the projected non-tax revenue of Uganda shillings 20.332 billion during the financial year of 2024-2025. This growth reflects NFA's strong trajectory and increasing capacity to generate its revenue to finance its operations, as summarized in the table. Right, Honorable Speaker, although we are looking at the performance in terms of non-tax revenue, some entities like the National Forestry Authority contribution and benefits cannot be costed. Environmental benefits cannot be costed so much as they are bringing a lot of non-tax revenue. By the same time, for us, our main mandate from NFA is environmental benefits, and they should not be costed. Table number 2, non-tax revenue performance for the release of 2021 to 2024-2025. Honorable Speaker, you can look at that table, that in 2020-2021, the percentage contribution from NFA was 40. By 2024-2025, it is at 148%. So unless we are not rewarding well-performing institutions, for me, I'm very confident that they have performed to their best in terms of non-tax revenue performance. NFA has enhanced its NTR through investments in forest plantations, investments in ecotourism infrastructure, support and management of tree farmers, planters in central forest reserves, and the ability to extract external funding from development partners. This one has been depicted everywhere, that when institutions are swallowed up, the capacity to fundraise becomes zero. And we are worried we may lose all that NFA has been fundraising for this country. Therefore, this growth reflects NFA's strong trajectory and increasing capacity to generate revenue to finance its operations, and is therefore not a burden on the national treasury. So what is not a burden should be left to stay. NFA, my fourth dissent, NFA has enhanced investments in forest plantations. NFA has established over 14,000 hectares of plantations with mature commercial trees ready for harvest. This is expected to generate around 6 billion Uganda shillings in the medium to long term, boosting the institution's NTR. In addition, NFA supports and manages tree farmers, planters in central forest reserves. Over 51,000 tree farmers manage 200,000 hectares in central forest research, generating over Uganda shilling 6 billion annually in license fees. Right, Honorable Speaker, the other area of dissent concerns deforestation and forest degradation. NFA has managed to keep at bay the numerous land grabbers who in several instances, Honorable Speaker, land grabbers constitute even some of the ministers and MPs here, who are looking forward to seeing NFA go and they grab. Right, Honorable Speaker.
There is an order. Who are the grabbers?
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the Honorable colleague has just mentioned that some of the land grabbers of these forests are actually honorable ministers and members of parliament in this head. You cannot start insinuating, pointing out members. If you have names, can you lay them?
Who are they?
Who are they? Can you lay them, since you have done your research, than pointing out fingers, please? Is she on order to do that without any evidence?
No. Let's give us the names with evidence. Yes.
Right, Honorable Speaker.
You know, it is good to name and shame some of these people.
Yeah, naming and shaming is very important, right, Honorable Speaker, but not from here.
No.
Right, Honorable Speaker.
If it is not from here, then you withdraw it.
Right, Honorable Speaker. It is very difficult to withdraw such a statement, because when they bring a list of members who have changed forest land to freehold land. Names are going to be put here.
No.
Yes.
Christine.
And information granted, Right Honorable Speaker.
Members.
Information is
Yes,
here.
Daudi.
Information
Daudi.
on Uganda Forest is here.
Information.
Right Honorable Speaker, in the 10th Parliament, the National Forestry Authority advertised that those who are interested in planting trees should apply. And most of those who are given licenses were members of Parliament. At least in my constituency, I know there are some MPs, including Honorable Mbwatekamu, and other MPs who are given licenses. But if the minister wants to, the shadow minister says that they grabbed, that is not proper. But I know some ministers whose names at least have been mentioned on this floor to have grabbed some land like Otafire and others, but not for NFA. I submit.
Madam Speaker.
Yes.
Madam Speaker, for more information of this House, Madam Speaker, for information of this House, those of you who have been following the matter of Gunda Forest in Entebbe, we laid here on table big shots, and we laid on table.
Who are the big shots?
Can I be given some 2 minutes? I bring the document here as she finishes.
You first withdraw your big shots.
Oh,
when
I
you
withdraw
bring
big
it,
shots. Honorable members, to make it better, I can use a word that officials in government who had grabbed land of Gunda, and we laid on table the list with intervention of Parliament, that the land titles were cancelled with intervention of Parliament. But we can bring again the list here to.
If you don't have a list, don't talk about big shots.
Information.
Madam Speaker.
Information.
Madam Speaker, maybe for the record, honorable members should be told we are immune when we are here to provide information. So I don't know why you're fearing to speak any information as long as it's factual in this August House. It's within the mandate of Parliament and it's within our work as members of Parliament. That's why here, when you're here, you can say anything and nobody can challenge you in the courts of law. When you get out of this place here, that's when you can be challenged. So why don't you go on record and name the people whom you're saying have grabbed forest land? I thank you.
You name them.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Christine. Thank you very much, Christine. I'm talking. I'm on the floor. Thank you very much, Christine. And I think the minister was very clear that we have immunity here. Madam Speaker, on this floor of this respected Parliament, one of the most respected chairpersons of the committee, Honorable Dani Kimosho, stood on this floor of Parliament and said that Honorable Sechikubo is a land grabber. And it is not expunged from the records of Parliament. He didn't specify.
It is not an. He didn't say it was NFA land.
But he said it's a land. He's a land grabber.
He did not say NFA land. We are talking about NFA. We are talking about NFA. Yes, there is a procedure matter. Honorable members, don't make me get headache.
Madam Speaker, a while ago, the Secretary General of the non-registered political group headed by General Moses Kainerugaba accused one of the NRM historicals, General Saverino Kaindo Tafire, of having been mentioned here as a land grabber and he said it was not a NFA land, but he's accused of land grabbing. Madam Speaker, I know General Tafire has been speaking against Muhoozi Kainerugaba grabbing power from his father. The procedural issue I am raising, Madam Speaker, is whether the Secretary General of that small political group illegally established by a serving military general under the UPDF Act and the Constitution should make such a statement and is allowed to stay on the record when he's accusing one of the historicals of the NRM, actually who should be his father, of land grabbing. Yet, General Tafire came here, gave a statement that he had bought this land from former Chief Justice Stephen Kavuma. So the procedural issue I am raising, Madam Speaker, is whether that statement should not be expunged.
Honorable members, he mentioned, first of all, I don't even know why you bring MK in this discussion. They are not related at all. If he wants to take power from his father, that is their business. And secondly, let Honorable Tafire come here and say that it is not true. Yes.
Right, Honorable Speaker.
And secondly, it is not related to the NFA issues.
Right, Honorable Speaker, thank you for the opportunity. When I come to this house, I come here as a representative of the people of Kasambia, not as a representative of General Muhoozi Kainerugaba.
No, a smaller thing, a smaller.
Secondly, the Patriotic League of Uganda that Honorable Semuju is talking about is registered as a civic organization that is non-partisan, non-denominational, and non-sectarian. 3, maybe Honorable Semuju, who has been around for some time, has just started becoming active in this parliament. In the 10th parliament, if you remember, I wasn't here, but I was following. The Njeru land was mentioned on this floor, and the directive was given by then the Speaker, Right Honorable Rebecca Kadaga, for General Tafire to come here and explain on how he grabbed that land, not how he bought the land, but how he grabbed that land. And a directive in cabinet was given. The minister is here, whose land was grabbed, let him deny. Minister Wamirama is here, and he was in cabinet complaining that the land that belongs to the Ministry of Agriculture was grabbed. Second, then he should explain whether the land is legally owned by the Honorable Tafire or by the Ministry of Agriculture. Then lastly, recently I was reading in newspapers, the same minister was mentioned to have had plans to grab land that was belonging to CID. So when I mentioned the name of somebody, I mentioned with the evidence. I beg to submit.
Right, Honorable Speaker, is Honorable Kabaka.
Honorable members, I don't want to divert the debate. Can you finish with your presentation?
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, land grabbing in the gazetted forest areas is like this.
First of all, I want you to remove one of the members here,
Yes.
if you don't have them.
Right Honorable Speaker, I withdraw the members, but I promise that I would lay on table.
Yes,
a list
for
and
now, withdraw.
substantiate it. Yes. Right Honorable Speaker, I've withdrawn the statement that some land grabbers in the forest areas are here. Right, Honorable Speaker and members, I wanted to briefly explain the type of land grabbing in gazetted forest areas. People are given licenses to manage forests on behalf of NFA. Some maintain the status quo, but others go ahead to change the leases to manage the forests into freehold land. And those are the land titles that are being cancelled. Right, Honorable Speaker, right, NFA has managed to keep the numerous, at bay the numerous land grabbers who in several instances apply for court injunctions. And there are very many court cases concerning land grabbing of NFA land gazetted areas to enable them to take over forest reserves. About 120 illegal titles created in forest reserves were cancelled in 2019, and the process to cancel an additional 609 illegal titles. All these are grabbers. 609 illegal titles are still grabbers in central forest reserves. This is ongoing. There is a high risk that this process will be jeopardized by mainstreaming the authority to the ministry, and hence loss of government forest land and the resultant forest degradation. Right, Honorable Speaker, I would like to end by reminding members that with the expected mining activities in Uganda, which is projected to produce 10 million tons of carbon every year, with the new European Union guidelines on deforestation, and with the mushrooming negative effects on climate change, it is an affirmative action, a good affirmative action, to retain National Forest Authority as a climate change management option, and we should guard it jealously. Otherwise, worldwide, we are not doing well. I submit, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you so much for your presentation. We'll have a limited debate on all this. Honorable Pair.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Pair, Honorable Dr. Lulu May, Honorable Kavanda, Honorable Yeska, and then Faith.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, and thank you, the Honorable Minister, for submitting the report. Also like to join our colleagues in the minority by thanking NFA for a very good work that they did, but with very limited funding. We really applaud that. And I also want to echo that the issue of land grabbing is widespread. It's not only NFA, and I don't think keeping NFA would actually keep the land. I would think that having NFA being under the ministry would actually help governments to supervise and ensure that this land are actually more safe than when an agency is struggling with it. Secondly, Right Honorable Speaker, I hear a lot of submissions on efficiency of agencies. And I've always wondered why we think that these efficiencies in agencies cannot go to the ministries and help improve what they think it's not working at the ministries. I would like to implore colleagues, members of Parliament, that efficiency is a dream for all the citizens of Uganda in government. And if we are to provide services to our people, then we need to start advocating how all the investments we have made in the agencies can actually go to the ministries and help improve service delivery. Right Honorable, finally the issue of harmonization and savings. We are talking a lot about savings, but we are also cognizant that most of these agencies are actually paying very high salaries as opposed to the ministries. And that is one of the elements that maybe the ministries have not been able to perform. So in my opinion, merging these agencies will actually help government to harmonize the salaries so that every civil servant in this country will be working at the same level and also earning the same money at the same level. But if we want to isolate agencies, give them more money, pay them more in the name of providing services, then we are also doing a disservice as government. Finally, Right Honorable, I think we've talked about this many more times, that merging is about economies of scale. If agency is employing so much, is having their own procurement, they are determining their own salaries, they are paying their own staff, government is saying let agencies come back under the ministries which has been supervising them anyway. Why are we fearing going back to the ministries? It is the ministers who supervise all these agencies. Let them go back, be supervised, and let them only emphasize on standards, on quality, and on supervision, other than saying, oh, we can do it better when we are alone. I thank you very much, Right Honorable.
Thank you, thank you. Yes, Dr. Lume.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. And I thank the committee for the majority report. I'm not party to the minority report because, Right Honorable Speaker, I traveled with the presenter of the minority report together with the 30 members of Parliament of Uganda Caucus, my constituency, so that they could see the work which was done by NFA. NFA has been supervising the planting of eucalyptus and pine in all areas which were covered by natural forests in national forest reserves. And they have been the stewards for giving away all these forests. And once, Right Honorable Speaker, the President pronounced himself and gave a directive. Actually, it was an executive order. It was also presented here by the Prime Minister that licenses which were previously given by NFA to those people pretending to be caring for the forest but instead cutting them should be revoked. And it was mentioned here by the Prime Minister of Uganda. They disobeyed this executive order, Right Honorable Speaker. And instead, NFA officials have been prevailing over those people they have been giving these licenses and permits just to cut down the natural forests. Yeah. Right Honorable Speaker, I am inviting you to Buikwe House just to see what they have done, the mayhem they have caused to the natural environment.
Thank you.
So I have, let me say this, I have written to the IGG to do the thorough investigation about the officials at the headquarters of NFA, so that we can pave way for them being apprehended. Actually, such people should not be even integrated into the ministry, but they should be instead prosecuted and put under the gallows for destruction of the environment. Therefore, I support the majority report. And may
there's
NFA
information
rest
from
in peace.
Ozzy. Ozzy is giving information.
Madam Speaker, I just want to give information to Honorable Doctor. In my constituency, there were two areas which were gazetted in 1936. The other one was gazetted as a national forest, and the other one was gazetted as a controlled hunting area. That is in Kei. The Mount Kei was a national forest, whereas the rest of the area was a controlled hunting area. But from nowhere, it was turned into an area to be controlled by NFA. But the challenges we have faced there is that before NFA took over this land, the land was very greenish with a lot of trees. But from nowhere, people started settling in this area, cutting the original natural tree. But what NFA does is that once they have finished cutting this tree, they bring people to begin to plant pine and eucalyptus, just as the Honorable is saying. Actually, I even quarreled with them. We organized a community meeting. I said before they came, this place was more helpful to the community. They will go and harvest honeys. They will go and fish. It was a place that helped us. As I talk now, if you are to go there, the original natural tree is cut off.
Thank
and
you.
more people
Thank
continue
you.
to settle as they look
Thank
on.
you,
Thank
Daudi.
you.
Honorable Chivumbi, you after. Okay.
Right Honorable Speaker, I happen to chair the Uganda Parliamentary Caucus. Right Honorable Speaker, God is good. All the time. Right Honorable Speaker, the last time we had this debate, for purposes of consistency, there was a rebellion from some members of Parliament on submission of NFA. Good enough, I see the same members today shifting sides and speaking like, that's what I've said, God is good all the time. Now, the story of NFA in Central Region, we had a present forest cover and natural cover. We've had an occasion, and these Bright Ramilamas, Honorable, who fought in Uganda, literally they know the extent of natural forests we had in the Central Region. Even if you took an helicopter drive or an airplane drive or a drone and you put it over Uganda today, and you are able to see the deforestation that has been done on the watch of NFA, an institution that was given the military, was given police, was given express mandate to preserve natural forests. Actually, it can't score a 0, it scores a minus.
Thank you. Thank you.
Therefore, Right Honorable Speaker, this institution should have gone yesterday. And I'm here to request you to put a vote so that NFA should go and be given a decent burial.
Thank you. Decent burial.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
There is a motion.
Indeed, I want to agree with the Honorable Mwanga Chivumbi that I was one of those who are saying that NFA shouldn't go. But after listening and studying how NFA has been operating, Right Honorable Speaker, I want to implore you and honorable colleagues, what they have been calling as giving out license to some people, actually the licenses have been, they are the ones who have been giving the licenses to themselves. It is alleged in my district, Mubende, that they have a staff from NFA who has an agent in Mubende, and this agent is the one whom they give the licenses to manage the forest reserves on their behalf. I want to request request the minister, in case this parliament takes back NFA back to the ministry, you should go back and review all these licenses. If possible, cancel all these licenses. Yes. And on this matter, Right Honorable Speaker, I want to move a motion that debate be closed and we move to the committee stage so that we can finish this thing for once and for all.
Seconded. Seconded by Isaac, by Tom, by Honorable Abirama, by elders, by Honorable Gwang, Honorable Bua, Rosi, youth, by the whole group, including Honorable including Patrick and Honorable Aisha and Honorable Abedi with Mpindi. Honorable members, I am putting a question that those Who say that we go to committee stage? And on the NFA bill, say and the contrary nay. Nice have it.
The National Forestry and Tree Planting Amendment Bill 2024, Bills Committee stage.
Ndoza muwulidde bulungi ekitongole kya NFA okuva lwe kyajja omulimu gwakyo omunene gwa kusaanyaawo bibira mu ggwanga Uganda so si kugattako oba si kubeezaawo bibira ebyo binnansangwa natural forest oba ebibira eby'obutonde okweyongera okukuumibwa wabula kyo omulimu gwakyo ogwakiweebwa gwa kubisaanyaawo nga nammwe munanjulira nga bwe muwulidde abakanga boogera nti just take a snap otambuleko mu bbanga wano weetegereze Uganda weetegereze Buganda olabe kyefaanana oyinza okugamba kasasiro ali awo gwe bagenda olaba enfuufu enjereere ensi eyali green yali eya kiragala nga nawe ogiyitamu noweeyagala era kye kyagituumya Pearl of Africa lwa its green nensi lwa kubanga yali ya kiragala ng'enyuma ngire enfuufu baakubwegezaako okusituka bweti ebulira omwo mu bikoola mu makoola omwo ensi nesigala nga ya kiragala naye olwaleero muganda wange otambula n'onoonya ewaali ebiramu mwali mumanyi nammwe nabo bagamba nti waliwo ekibira ekyo waliwo ekibira tewakyali kabira n'aka by'osangawo kati osanga pine osanga kalitunsi n'obuuza nti kati bino byo bya mugaso nnyo okusinga biri ebira Katonda bye yali yateekawo lwaki kalitunsi ono ne pine tetumusimba mu bifo already ebitaliimu miti nti nina eka zange 10 na eka zange 10 kanteekewo pine wange abeere awo okitegedde nene tulemo okusaanyaawo ebibira ffe bannannyini ng'omuntu yaweebwa omulimu to protect to preserve ebibira by'eggwanga bye baasangawo bajja n'omusolo bye baalwaniramu ate omulimu ogwamba omukulu kubisaanyaawo era abangi obajja n'endowooza egamba nti obajja n'Omuseveni alowooza alwokuba ebibira bino yabirwaniramu n'awangula okufuuka president n'olwekyo abisaanyaawo to prevent anybody else obutabyeyambisa kumujja mweyo entebe mweyekyangira. That might be true. Kisoboka okuba nga kituufu kya ddala nga John Museveni atya kuyeekerwa era ng'omulimu gwe bano nti mu bisaanyo ebire byo kuba nga biba bikwafu nnyo bajjuka natural forests ziba so nkwafu toba tusobola kulaba ebizimu impenetrable nga tosobola kumala gaziyitamu era nga n'oba agulawo tosobola kulaba kikiri munda mu kibira omwo naye bw'okisaanyaawo ekyo kiri natural n'osimbawo kali tosobola n'osimbawo pine ne bwobeera agula olaba ki ekiri ku ttaka n'aba atambula omulaba nti mulimu atambula ne bwobeera mitala olengera oli atambula kyovala babisaanyaawo nga beewala okuyeekerwa okitegedde beewala ene group okweorganizinga nefunako weetuula nesettlinga netandika omulimu gw'okubajja mu ntebe kyovala babisaanyaawo eyo allegation nayo weeri ate nga esobola okuba nga ntuufu era nga bagamba nti mwe musaanye omubigabe mu bisaanyewo I don't want to see any forest ate John Museveni wavaayo n'agamba mbu ebisibira bisaanyewo n'alaga nti ali so concerned kibanga bw'onootuma omuntu nti genda onkubire gundi oyo naye bwe bakutegera tompaayo nti nze nkugambye okole ki omukube sirika nze nja kukuwolereza okitegedde kati nga bamukubanga bamulaba bwe bajja mu lujjudde ogamba naye nedda naawe okoze bubi nkulabye ng'okuba munno tokiddangamu okoze bubi okuba munno naye nga nze nakoze nti nagambye nti genda okole ki omukube kati ne John Museveni kiteebereza kubanga agamba ba NFA ebiraba bisaanyeewo olwakiri kyatya okuyeekerwa national okutereeza ensi yaffe ddeo ku original nga bwe yali tulina kujjawo kino n'ekyawanga kya John Museveni yokaye solution singa situufune ekyo solution entuganga katujjawo John Museveni mu ntebe aganya Uganda tegenda kuterera tulina kujjawo ye olwokulaba Uganda weetinta olwokulaba Uganda wenyuma olwokulaba tuyagalira mu nsi yaffe naye wekitabo ekyo tugenda kubonaabona abantu nga bano abenyumiriza mu kusaanyawo ebibira bakyali bangi era nga bo mulimu gwabwe tekibakola okubanga basanyizawo natural forest ne bateekawo ebyabwe ebyokugyamu ensimbi nga tamanyi lwaki ne Katonda yateekawo biri ebyali eby'obutonde n'atateekawo kalituso n'atateekawo pine.
The chief government whip moved a motion which led to suspension of of a rule that bars debate. But today you have you have allowed the debate. So I don't know how you will guide this process forward. Two, the second procedural issue is Article 128 enjoins this Parliament to accord courts such assistance and not to interfere with the matters that are before court. I have a court case involving this entity. We are about to go and rationalize. And the import of that is that there will be a breach of our sub judice rule. I again want to invite you to rule. Can this Parliament proceed on any matter which has the implication of interfering with the court processes, especially where the parties involved is about to be altered by this bill?
Thank you.
That would help the country know if we are a law-abiding institution or not. I wanted your ruling on that.
Thank you so much. First, on seeking for suspension of the rule, that was overtaken. Two, the issue of sub judice, the case has not been brought to my attention. What is before me is the issue of RAPEX.
Madam Speaker, I have details of that case.
I have not received it on my table.
That's why I'm putting it on record.
No, it should not even be on record. It should not even be on record.
Where should it be?
Right, Honorable Speaker. The Honorable Christine already mentioned here that there are some politicians, MPs and ministers who have interest in the NFA. I would, when I was making my submission, I said in the 10th Parliament there are some MPs who are given licenses by NFA. Let the Honorable Oguzuli declare his interest. If he has some land in NFA, then we understand. We can even maybe give you yours and you go. But you leave us.
Madam Speaker, let me. My name has been brought here. I need to clarify. Section 41 and 42 of National Forest and Tree Planting Act provides for licenses. When there is an opportunity for licensing, it's supposed to be through a public procurement process. And that involves NFA advertising. When NFA advertises, any citizen is free to bid. And when NFA advertises, anybody is free to bid. So if I've bidded and I'm successful, I have not breached any law in this country.
Thank you.
Is that okay? But that does not stop the Speaker deciding on the matters I'm raising on the floor.
Madam Chair, the position of
there
the law.
There is no illegality in having a license.
Madam Chair.
Honorable members.
Right, Honorable Speaker. From the submission of Honorable Guzuli, we must admit that he has not acted in breach of any law. But what is clear that he needed to have stated is to declare his interest. Because he's talking about a bidding process. The truth of the matter is he bidded. And is part of those currently with Arua Central Forest. Absolutely. And you were fully licensed under the laws of Uganda. That was the only thing you needed to have told us. Declaration of your interest. Thank you.
Madam Chair. Yes, I'm not sure if that breaches any law. Madam Speaker.
Madam Chair.
Right, Honorable Speaker, the rules are very clear.
Kasambia, I'm on the floor. Kasambia.
If the matter before the floor, if Honorable Guzuli has an interest in the matter that is before us, then you excuse yourself from this debate.
Honorable members,
Madam Chair.
Honorable members, rationalization will not remove your license.
Madam Chair.
You will remain with your license.
Very good.
Yes.
Madam Chair, without prejudice to your ruling, which is perfectly correct, I wish to add that the technical answer to his worry is that the successors in title to the NFA are the ministry. So any liability as arising out of any court issues will be handled by the ministry. So you don't have to worry.
There's a new clause new clause. Clause 1.
Honorable Speaker, Clause 1, new clause. This act shall come into force on a date appointed by the minister by statutory instrument. The justification to provide for commencement of the act.
Minister. Honorable Minister.
Ndowooza owulira abantu bennyini abali emabega w'okusaanya Bibira batandise okuvaayo. Omubaka ayogedde wano Nakimwero nti ababba ettaka ly'Ebibira bali wano mu House mu Parliament bamuvuvuza awo ne bakuba eno n'eno ne babimuggisaawo. Kati abantu batandise kwejjayo bokka ayimirira naga banayinze ndi mubbi mu nsaasire temujja eno temujja mugenda kunzijako omugaati. Naye omugaati singa gwe wasaanyizaawo Bibira obutonde Katonda bwe yatuwa gwe obusaanyizaawo ku lw'ebigendererwa byagala kugaggawala osimbawo emiti egikula amangu ogaggawale n'olemu okufuna ettaka eriri empty eriri open nogaaka nsime kuno emiti gyange nange nnyongere ku kibira nga kiri wadde nze kino ekyange kya nsimbi naye nakyo kibeere kibira naye n'osaanyaawo ky'osanzeewo n'oteekawo ekikyo n'ogamba gwe mugezi nnyo okusinga Katonda ate abiteekawo gwe by'oteekawo kati. Balange ensi yaffe esaanawo buli olukya lw'abantu nga bano. Baganda bange tuyimuke tubeeko kye tukola tutaase eggwanga lyaffe tutaase ensi yaffe naye tufa tuggwawo. Bino byonna ebizibu birwola General Museveni tewali kirala. General Museveni yatwetedde bino byonna ebizibu yatwetera bino yavaako bino tuli mu kubonaabona lwa General Museveni olwa bino byakola ne bibeerawo nga tubonaabona mu ggwanga eryaffe mu nsi eyaffe olwa ye kuba nti ayagala okubeera mu ntebe buli kyasangawo kyonna ayagala akyonoone kubanga ye ogugwe gwa kusaanyaawo originalite ya Uganda ateekewo ebipya abalage nti Uganda etandise ku mulembe gwe nti tewali kyaliwo era Uganda teyali nnungi n'akamu. Naye tulina okulwana ennyo tulina okwekemba tumuggyeko obuyinza obwo bwe yatubbako obubbi bwakozesa okwonoona n'okusaanyaawo ensi yaffe tuzze ensi yaffe ku mulembe nga bw'erina okutambula. Ate obukatikati bwako gwe Munnayuganda Constitution ya Uganda ekigamba nti girwanirire nga tennaba kufa nti ate lwanira kuuma eggwanga lino ng'okola buli kisaanidde okukolebwa wansi w'enjuba okujja abo abamense abafuuse ebyeneena mu kwonoona eggwanga Uganda nga balisaanyaawo. N'ekyo bye biri mu Parliament kugoba NFA kubanga byekoze majjaani ku buugi tusobole okufuna ekitongole ekinaafaayo okulabirira bekisanzeewo n'okubyongerako so so okusaanyaawo bekisanzeewo NFA ekyeri mukulu olwaleero. Tusabe Mukama Katonda atutaase tujjewo ekizibu ekinene kiri kyembagambe General Museveni awo tujja kuba tweyagalira mu nsi yaffe. Mwera.